A blend of cultures coming together because deep roots foster economic growth in partnership with you. The kingdom works, the region works, the whole world works. Leyb25 for us is a defining moment, and in partnership with you, we're gonna leap together.
Please welcome His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Saud Al-Tamimi, Governor of the Communications, Space and Technology Commission.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, everyone. It is a great honor and pleasure to be in this global stage of Leyb 2025. And before I start to give you a brief and highlight of the second day, let me share with you some thoughts. I've been in this industry almost for 20 years. I will be lying to you if I say I was dreaming of something better and bigger than Leyb. As His Excellency the Minister in the opening ceremony mentioned, another historical investment announced in this stage, $14.9 billion worth of investment from the private sector. And as His Excellency always says, we walk the talk, this is Leyb style. He gave also a highlight of all the great announcements happening in Leyb24. Yesterday, we witnessed another wave of a great announcement. Datavault with NEOM announced another $1 billion investment in اليوم. And it's very critical, but more importantly, it is the first net zero AI cloud center in the world. Alphanar stand up in this stage yesterday. They don't announce one or two data centers, they announce 4 data centers, and they are all in action, and they are delivering them soon during this year, and next year they're opening this data center. Zoom, they have the choice, our partnership, the famous Zoom platform. They choose the kingdom to be their platform to serve the region. Yesterday, also in this stage, they announced an investment of $75 million to serve their client within the kingdom and in the region. If you go over the exhibitions and within the meeting, you will notice a large number of technologies and discussions, but mainly there is like few themes standing up this Leyb25. AI, cloud solutions, quantum computing, and all technologies surrounding data economy, including data coming from space. And I will come to that in a minute. In AI, we see lots of announcements, and His Excellency the Minister announced it and covered it in the first session. In cloud and quantum computing, yesterday we heard lots of announcements. And in space, we still believe there is some people, they're still not connected. Yesterday, Sky5, they choose the kingdom to the first country globally to announce air to ground, to fulfill our commitment to not leaving anyone behind. Even while you are in an airplane, you will receive a 4G coverage in the kingdom. They announced an investment of more than $100 million yesterday. Going back to space, we are already announcing a competition called Space Up. This competition is unique and matching the demand with the supply. There is already commitment from demander to spend more than $28 million to subscribe to any entrepreneur across the globe to subscribe for this competition. We just announced it 2 weeks ago, and yesterday there was a great workshop led by my friend Mr. Frank. He's the Deputy Governor for Space in CST. We grabbed the attention globally. There is entrepreneurs from more than 100 countries participating in our platform. Entrepreneurs from more than 50 countries already subscribed and registered and are willing to participate in this space competition. This is exactly what we are saying, Leap style, and we are walking the talk, and we are really matching the demand of the supply with the supply. One more thing, this Leap, we are witnessing the second phase of a space track in Leap. We have more than 24 events and sessions focusing about space and competition in space, and more importantly, and this is very important, connecting between space industry or space economy and digital economy. And the cornerstone of that one, as I told you in the beginning, is data economy. Before I conclude, always there is a great or warm zone within Leap. Where is the entrepreneur located? This year we have more than 700 entrepreneurs showing their cases, more than 500 price matching or a market matching zone with the investor. Lots of great deals, so please visit them. They are in Hall 1A. And one more thing to say before we leave. In Leap, as Excellency said, we walk the talk. We are really proud that the private sector come to the stage and announcing their investment. And what's surprising me more, that there is more deal not been announced in the stage happening during the first 2 days, and there is also more 2 days to come with a great announcement. I'll leave you now with another batch of great announcement in day 3 of Leap, and I hope you're enjoying the remaining half of Leap25. Thank you.
Welcome to the stage, Judith Gardner, the Vice President of Growth in Emerging Markets at Equinix.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am incredibly excited and honored to be opening today's announcement. First off, can I just say what a really impressive event Leap25 is. It's my first, it's our team's third, and we look forward to many more. But it really is a great reflection of the progress and the speed of progress in the technology area in the kingdom. So first off, let me tell you a little bit about Equinix. Equinix is the largest digital infrastructure company in the world. We've been around for 26 years, and we have been at the center of all technological developments, from internet to cloud to AI. And over the 26 years, we have built an incredibly impressive footprint across many countries, but also across many industries. And you'll see on my next slide where I have the map that we are committed to continuing our global footprint expansion for the benefit of our customers. So this map, as I said, has been cultivated over the last 26 years. We have more than 270 data centers. We are in all continents now. We have over 77 metros, and they are all interconnection hubs. And basically, interconnection allows data to move around the world. So these interconnection hubs are facilitating our daily lives through any data that moves. 96% of internet data goes through the Equinix data centers. So we already have a presence in the Middle East, which we're very proud of. But we are also incredibly proud to be able to announce that we are investing $1 billion in data centers, starting with about 100 megawatts, which will be facilitating our hyperscale customers, our retail customers, companies in Saudi Arabia and the Kingdom and beyond, but also bringing many of our global customers to the Middle East. This is going to have an amazing impact, not only on people's daily lives, but also from an economic perspective. There will be job creation, there will be many more industries coming in, and I would imagine as you start seeing more and more of these come in, you will see more and more developments, also through LEAP, but also through further investment. I would like to thank, before I leave the stage, CST and MCIT for their incredible partnership and incredible appreciation for all the work that those teams are doing with us to be able to create this partnership. And we look forward to many more leaps ahead, where I would hope that we will be able to announce even further investment. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the stage, Dr. Abdulaziz Al-Batli, the General Manager of Technologies Enablement at CST.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome. In an ever-evolving emerging technologies and the divide with regulations, always questions get asked: what to regulate, what not to regulate, and to what level regulations should involve. That's why CST is one of the digital regulators globally to adopt an innovative approach, the regulatory sandbox. In the regulatory sandbox, it focuses on providing a wide space for innovation while maintaining the right level of regulatory oversight. It is a win-win for both the regulatory body and the company whose product is involved within the sandbox to actually test out and navigate through the regulatory challenges. The sandbox provides a safe harbor and an environment to test out and refine great products, innovative solutions that not quite yet made it to the market. It could have regulatory challenges. Within that sandbox, we actually navigate together the regulatory challenges and make it easy for the companies whose products are involved within the sandbox. In the sandbox not only covers one or two technologies, it covers a wide spectrum of emerging technologies going from agentic AI, robotics, or even immersive technologies and any other cutting-edge technology that make it to the market. With two successful cohorts, cohort number 3 is on the horizon. This reflects a commitment from CST to actually validate the solutions, the innovative products, and it also makes the future bright when it comes to technological advancement. Actually, numbers speak louder than words. It actually speaks volumes. We've seen tremendous momentum and socio-economic impacts from the products that graduated and completed the first cohort. Those products have seen a 40% increase in revenue, a 250% increase on average on the customer base. Those two numbers created tractions in the market. That traction led to more job creation with a 30% increase in job creation directly and indirectly. Comparing the first and two cohorts, we've actually seen a great enthusiasm and commitment from the market, from the companies. Comparing the two cohorts, we've seen 100% increase in interest when it comes to the applications, 100% when it comes to the number of participants and applicants, and more importantly, 30% increase in the sector coverage. The sandbox does not only focus on one or two sectors. It focuses on the wide range of sectors economically across the board. Now, we will celebrate the companies whose products have actually made it through the cohort 2. And a story was written. Today must be told. A collaboration between two regulatory bodies who oversee completely two different sectors. CST, the regulatory the technology regulator, and GEOSA, the General Authority for Survey and Geospatial Information. We worked together tirelessly to navigate through a quite new service offering in the market that is new, that is challenging, and together we made it through, and GEOSA has announced the first license of its kind in the kingdom to be granted. Now, to celebrate my colleagues who actually made it through cohort 2, let me welcome two people who actually believe in a new philosophy and an actually enablement philosophy, which is innovate, then regulate. First, let me welcome His Excellency, Dr. Mohammed Al-Tamimi, the Governor of CST. Second, let me welcome Engineer Raed Al-Faiz, Deputy Governor for Technology Sector. تفضل عمرك. تفضل. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the stage, Louis Gresham, the partner at HGM.
Ladies and gentlemen of Leap, it is incredible to be here. I have been a founder, CEO, builder, investor in gaming and tech for over 20 years. And I have to say, I have never seen anything quite like the excitement here and what is happening in the kingdom. A huge thanks to His Royal Highness, His Excellency, MCIT, MISA, and the Regional Headquarters Program for all of the incredible support in making possible the platform that has led to what I'm going to announce today. But before I do any announcing, I have a question for the audience. Who here has heard of a small game called Call of Duty? It has many fans around the world. I see some people smiling over here. Maybe some of you have heard of it. Multi-billion-dollar franchise. And what would you say? Would you be excited if the next generation, the spiritual successor, the next evolution of the military first-person shooter was not from the outside coming into the kingdom, but actually launched here to MENA and the rest of the world? Would that be exciting? Would that be interesting? It's happening. So today, the things that are going to lead up to this launch, we at HGM, through the help of our regional headquarters infrastructure, are bringing games from the top developers in the world to launch here in Riyadh, out to MENA, and the rest of the world. A $300 million investment into the ecosystem here, because here in the kingdom, thanks to the efforts of everything that we've seen over the past couple years, this is the capital of esports and gaming worldwide. We have done our first investment into Hydra Tac, the company of which I'm the CEO, USA and KSA, and we are launching in 2025, October of this year, from a team that has worked on many of the best shooters of all time, including Call of Duty, Wilco. Thank you. Thank you. Wilco is a military term. It means will comply, and it is the ultimate close quarters battle military simulation shooter. You'll see a lot more over the next couple months, but a little bit of a sneak preview because LEAP is a special place, and a lot of special help from our friends here have led us to this moment. Actual images from the game itself. The most intense, visceral gunfights and gunplay that the industry and the world has ever seen. So realistic, in fact, and developed to military specifications that it can be used for military training. In the game, real physics, ballistics, weapon handling, everything that you actually experience in combat zones to a level that has not ever been done in video gaming. And cutting edge, the very, very latest and greatest from the world, night vision, thermal, optics, all of these things. So look forward to many more things over the next couple months, but let me leave you with this. The first major military shooter launch ever in the kingdom will be happening this year, and it's going to take the world by storm. Thank you.
Welcome to the stage of Shahad Al-Akili.
السلام عليكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, our esteemed guests, good afternoon and welcome. Welcome to LEAP 2025. And I'm sure you're enjoying your time here as we are, right? And I believe this year LEAP is different because LEAP is what? LEAP is leaping, isn't it? Okay. So now we will talk with a different language. However, it's a very common and powerful language, so no worries. Let's talk money. Let's talk investments, starting with an astonishing $150 million investment by NTDB supporting multiple accelerators as shown here. And then moving to our theme of this year, which is of course AI, which was calling my name. So Joa Capital, in partnership with Build Now, has launched an $80 million AI-powered infrastructure fund. Yeah, it's... Then, keeping with the same theme of this year, Ula Capital launched a $75 million data-driven fund focusing and investing in AI and deep tech startups. We'll wait for the bigger numbers to applaud for it. So, and this brings us to our exciting announcement, the Sanable Accelerator by Orbit launching a $60 million fund to invest in more than 200 early-stage tech startups. Lastly, Sharaka Financial secured a $30 million fund to support early-stage startups across the MENA region. So now, proudly, let's turn our attention to our valuable startups. Starting with Ultimate Learning Academy and their $28 million Series B funding round led by Rua Ventures and JCIF. And moving to our relocated champions, Merit Incentives, who closed a $28 million Series B funding round. And up next is Berks. Berks, who closed or completed its Series A funding round, reaching a total of more than $22 million led by Beko. Up next, or onto Turud, which secured the largest Series A funding round for logistics technology in the MENA region, with almost $11.3 million investments led by Wa'ad and Ilm. And now we finally concluded our segments with more than $9 million, it's almost $10 million, for Build Now investments led by Arbah and STV. This is the bigger number. So, to sum up, we have a total number of 6 funds with almost close to $700 million of Saudi investments. And we have close to $100 million in startups investments. Yes, this needs this applause. And this brings us a step closer to our target, being a leader in the venture capital activities in the MENA region, and inshallah soon globally. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening, and see you next year in Leap 2026 with bigger numbers بإذن الله. يعطيكم العافية.
Welcome to the stage, Abdullah Al-Bukhail. Welcome to the stage, Abdullah Al-Bukhail, the founder and CEO of White Helmet.
Assalamu alaikum, and good afternoon, everybody. I would like to introduce the company, White Helmet. We are a Saudi construction tech startup founded in 2021. We leverage AI and computer vision technology to enhance quality, improve efficiency, and productivity. Before the announcement, I have a message for His Royal Highness, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. As a founder, we would like to say thank you for your unlimited support for the technology Saudi sector, especially through NTDB. Because of this support, we are exporting the Saudi technology. We have clients in more than 7 countries, covering 1 billion square meter. And 9,000 projects are using the Saudi technology now by using White Helmet. But this is just the beginning. After 3 years of innovations, we are not just adopting the technology of the future, we are shaping it. Today, at Leap, we announce the first construction AI agent, Asif.
Introducing White Helmet AI Agent, Asif, your intelligent agent for construction management. Asif seamlessly integrates with your existing workflows, processing data from multiple sources. Asif can read and understand all types of construction and engineering documents, including blueprints, mechanical, electrical, and structural drawings, quantities, schedules of activities, and project plans, financial, commercial, and legal documents. Asif incorporates external data such as weather forecasts to assess potential impacts on construction timelines and recommend proactive strategies. Asif seamlessly integrates with White Helmet's current solutions, such as visual site documentation and progress tracking, centralized secure project documentation, remote site monitoring and collaboration, predictive insights and decision-making. From searching to actionable decisions, Asif does the heavy lifting. Asif uses all available data to transform information into actionable intelligence. As your trusted agent, it provides predictive analytics that alert you to potential risks, challenges, and delays. White Helmet. Build with confidence.
Thank you. So, with Asif, we said the wisdom to build faster, the intelligence to build smarter, and the power to build the future. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the stage Zainab Alamain, the Vice President of National Digital Transformation at Microsoft, and Nora Al-Sheikh, the Executive Director at National IT Academy.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good evening, everyone. It's a true pleasure to be here with all of you. Today is truly a defining moment. It's a defining moment in the journey of Saudi Arabia's vision realization. The vision that is so ambitious, that serves as not only a roadmap, but a really true, strong blueprint that is ambitious and bold, that sets Saudi Arabia's success to diversify the economy, empower people, and position Saudi as a leading global AI hub. His Excellency Al-Jad'an at Davos stated that we're moving away from data export, from oil to data. This is a profound and a very strong message that underpins the Saudis' commitment to diversify the economy and leveraging the digital transformation and the power of data to empower its people and build its future skills. Today, we are announcing the first Microsoft Data Center Academy in partnership with NITA. This is a true significance. This actually exemplifies our commitment not only to support Saudi's national digital transformation and its global leadership, but also to support its global ambition to be a global leader in AI. Noura, tell us more about NITA.
Thank you, Zainab. First of all, I would like to welcome you all again for joining us here, for sharing with us this great milestone. NITA is a non-profit training institute that has been founded by 4 main stakeholders: Saudi Aramco, MCIT, TVTC, and CST. The Academy will provide Saudis with accelerated and advanced training to support and to create a ready job talent pool. This is in line with the Kingdom's Vision 2030 to support digital transformation and reduce the rate of unemployment. And this is, in summary, NITA's mission, which is to train local talents by providing innovative and hands-on experiences, leveraging AI and emerging technologies to build a capable workforce.
Thank you, Noura. And this is in line with Microsoft's Data Center Academy mission, is to ensure that every person has access to technology, to skilling, and to opportunities in demand jobs that are in line with changing world. And His Excellency Suwaha talked about the digital divide. With all of this technology shifts, a digital divide is going to create a new reality, and that's what we want to address today. So the story of the Data Center Academy started in 2018. It was established in 2018 as a community initiative to support talent. And with that, we are bridging the gap between education and industry and partnering with local partners, the likes of NITA, to ensure that they have access to scalable tools, curriculum alignment, and professional certifications that enable them to deliver on the ground. With that, we're breaking barriers. We're breaking down barriers, making sure that entry to technology is easy and it's doable. And we're developing the talent pipeline to support not only Microsoft data centers, but the whole data center industry in general. With all of these investments that you are seeing, it's truly significant.
So the Data Centers Academy core pillars will consist of 5. The first will be the curriculum alignment, scholarship and funding support, simulation labs where learners can come actually to the lab and have real hands-on experiences with data centers. Also, they will have mentorships, and this will conclude that they will have a whole work experience.
And with that, we're actually bringing the first Microsoft Data Center Academy to the region. You can see the map. It's quite wide in this region. We have presence in North America, we have presence in Europe, some in Australia, but this is gonna be the first Microsoft Data Center Academy that serves Saudi's vision to be the global AI hub and a center of data center hub globally. So serving Saudi and the whole region. Thank you, everyone.
Welcome to the stage Wu Han, the Deputy CEO at Huawei Tech, Investment Saudi Arabia Co.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and all distinguished guests, good afternoon, and welcome to LEAP 2025. Today, it's my great honor to be here to announce the Future Scale Center with MSIT together. And first of all, I would like to take 1 minute to introduce about the Huawei company. Huawei was founded in 1987, and today we have over 207,000 employees all over the world, and our business covers 170 countries all over the world. And Huawei is a technology-driven company. So today, actually, more than half of our employees are the R&D engineers. And also, the R&D investment of Huawei, we rank number 5 in the world among all the companies. And in Saudi Arabia, Huawei came to Saudi Arabia at 2002, 23 years before, and we are one of the earliest international company come to Saudi markets. And in the past more than 20 years, and thanks for the kingdom, for the governments, and MSIT, CST, and all the government sectors support to the Huawei business. And also, we get some very impressive award, like in 2018, we won the King Khalid Responsible Competitiveness Award by His Royal Highness the King. And in the last year, and we focused on the talent investing and talent training, and we got some achievement. 2024, we trained near 8,000 young talent in Saudi Arabia, and also we have more than 2,000 Saudi students in Huawei ICT competition join the regional final participation. And also we sent over 60 Seeds for the Future to China to receive the training of the high technologies. And also we have the Future Space. Last year we received more than near 5,000 the public visitors. They come from the middle school, they come from the primary school, and we give them the technologies, the primary training for the young talent, for the young seeds, for the kingdom in the future. So the next plan is very exciting, and for the Future Scale Center. And in the next 5 years, we commit to train more than 25,000 young talent in the kingdom. And also the main tracks focus on the cloud computing, big data, artificial intelligence, Datacom, and also 5.5G. And also for the talent event, we will invest the money for the Huawei ICT competition, Huawei Seeds for Future, Huawei ICT Academy, and also scholarship training program in the kingdom. So today, I'm very glad and excited to announce the Huawei and MSIT for the Future Scale Center. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to the stage Mohammed Bamaga, the Managing Director and Accenture LearnVantage Academy Lead in the Middle East, and Liza Eberly, the Innovation Lead in the Middle East at Accenture.
Assalamu alaikum. Your Excellency, respected audience, أسعد الله مساكم جميعا. With the deep pride and happiness, we are very happy to stand in front of you today to announce the launch of our first-of-kind AI Academy in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in partnership with the Ministry of Communication and Information Technology. This academy is built for action. It is designed carefully to bridge the gap between the AI theory and the real-world impact. It is not just a learning place. It is a dynamic hub where we'll bring together cross-industry practitioners from all over the kingdom to work with our global AI experts who are solving real AI challenges and attending opportunities everywhere, every day, in different sectors, be it energy, logistics, operation, or what have you. Allow me to move to Liza to tell us more about this program.
Great. So Liza really is my name. I lead innovation for Accenture in the Middle East. We're so delighted to announce our immersive learning program. We believe that learning should be immersive. It should be hands-on and should be practical. And it should equip our future leaders not just with the right tech skills, but with the right mindset to completely transform industries and the wider ecosystem. We're particularly proud of this AI Academy because it combines the cutting-edge technology, but also our global expertise. So I wanted to bring you through a couple of the key elements. So the first is, it's based in our global Gen AI studios. So from Riyadh to Dublin to London to Paris, our Saudi learners will have global expertise. They'll be sitting hand by hand with some of our experts. It's based in real-world challenges. So we'll be coming up with scenarios that they're solving, the biggest challenges we're all solving for. Yes, they'll be learning, but actually, from a very quick period of time, they'll go from pitch to launching a new product with hands-on experience. Our global experts and mentors will be with them, sharing their knowledge, their experience, and guiding them at every step of the way. Global is so important, so it's multimodal, it's multi-geography, we'll bring the best in. And lastly, it's real career advancement. We look at the holistic learner. We equip them with the skills, the tech, but actually the learning mindset, and bringing in the best of multidisciplinary teams and that mindset of entrepreneurship so that they're set up to be leaders in the future. We're so excited to make this announcement. It's only the beginning, and we look forward to the partnership as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the stage, Dr. Naveed Iftikhar, the co-founder of Atom Camp.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon, everyone. So what we are going to do in Saudi Arabia, we've been doing across the world, and that is training the workforce and youth in artificial intelligence. But what we've seen actually in the Leap and at different occasions, the kind of commitment that Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is showing for adopting AI is unmatched. And considering this, we've been operating in Saudi Arabia for over a year through our UK office. But considering this commitment, we are going to launch a regional academy of AI and emerging technologies in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So this is where Atom Camp comes in, is actually your companion to prepare the workforce and organizations for artificial intelligence future. So what we really need to understand that at this particular moment, organizations, individuals, workforce, they need to learn artificial intelligence. And this is where Atom Camp provides trainings, boot camps, and mentoring to students and youth. So I'll just, while I'm speaking, you can also scan this code. So this will also generate a very personalized roadmap for you that what is good for you to learn artificial intelligence. And this is where the AI is helping. That is the future of AI in education, education that is very personalized with you. So the two things that we've noticed across the world where we are trying to fill the gap, the very first one is, the pace of progress in AI is very rapid. Still, when we say that, people are talking about AI, people are talking about, AI adoption, but organizations often miss what they really need to do, what they really need to do to adopt AI. So this is where we help organizations, whether those are businesses or the government organizations, where we can prepare personalized roadmap for them. And what our vision is to support and train 20,000 Saudi talent by 2030 so that they can contribute to Vision 2030. So the first challenge I told you where organizations need, and when we talk about AI, so there is also a misconception this is only for techies. So this is what Atom Camp does. We have tailored programs that this is AI for C-suite, AI for senior managers, AI for technical workforce, and also AI for everyone, So this is something that we really need to understand. The second thing that we try to fill the gap is the job readiness. Universities are doing a job building fundamentals, but when we see that youth is not ready for jobs actually. So don't take me wrong, I used to be a professor in my previous life, but I understand by the time a student finishes 4-year degree, a lot has actually changed. So where we need agile, progress in AI, so this is where we comes in. So 3 things we'll be focusing through our Regional AI and Emerging Technologies Academy. The first one is trainings in AI to the youth, to the workforce, to organizations, and making them job ready. And the second thing what we are planning actually, there are 2 products we are planning. Those are AI for education products, and we'll launch from Saudi, made by Saudis, and we'll have a global outreach. I'll also share more about those products. And the third one is where we actually helping Saudi youth to launch AI startups. So this is where our role comes in. The second thing that I just want to highlight is, trainings. So as I mentioned, it's upskilling the youth, is upskilling the workforce, and a continuous training at all levels. So this is the first pillar of our work that we are going to do here. The second pillar that we are going to do is the 2 products. Those are already in pipeline, and we'll be launching them from Saudi Arabia. The first one is AI embedded learning management system. I've been a professor. I still teach at universities. I go there. Professors ask me, students ask me, what is there for us? We talk a lot about AI for education, but what does it mean actually? It means very personalized education. So this learning management system will have features for students, it will have features for teachers, it will have features for administrators, whether they are at a school or at a university. The second thing that we are launching is a digital academy. It's an Enara Digital Academy, and that is going to be an academy for individuals as well as for organizations. Today's organizations need complex learning and development systems, so they need a plugin that serves all of their problems for learning and development. So this is where our role comes in. The third thing that we are going to do is an AI incubator, helping startups, helping youth to launch AI startups. So these are the 3 things that we'll be focusing, and we are looking forward to expand and to serve in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So thank you everyone for listening, and we are your companion for your journey to adopt artificial intelligence. Thank you very much.
Please welcome His Excellency Mohammed Al Kuwais, Chairman of the Capital Market Authority, and your moderator, the business journalist Martina Fuch.
Your Excellency. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Masal khair. Hello everyone, good afternoon. Your Excellency, welcome on stage for another edition of LEAP. It's great to see you.
Thank you very much, Martin.
We only have about 20 minutes of time, and being from Switzerland, I need to make sure that I manage the time correctly. So let's dive right into the topic, Your Excellency. The Saudi capital markets have seen a massive development over the last couple of years. What kind of support are you now giving to tech startups and also innovation-driven businesses? Because we see so much action. Last October, you said 50 requests for stock market listings. Where are we going from here?
Thank you very much, Martina. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you on what has become a very, very illustrious conference, growing year by year. And actually, the story of capital markets and how they serve entrepreneurs is very much running in parallel with the growth that we've been seeing in LEAP. So on the one hand, we've seen the size of our capital market grow exponentially in the last few years. We have moved from being the 25th, 26th largest market in the world to now being one of the top 10 largest market in the world, depending on how you measure it, either number 7 or number 9. But most importantly is a reorientation of who we serve. And we have recognized over the past few years is one of our main constituents is startups and founders in order to help them finance, to help them start businesses, and to help them exit businesses. And those are actually the 3 pillars that we've really been focusing on. The formation of a business, the financing of a business, and exits by entrepreneurs and investors from businesses. If we take the first, which is entry into businesses and starting a business, one of the biggest barriers, and one of which that we touched quite a bit, was our corporation's code. Most startups and most founders require a degree of flexibility that our former corporation's law did not allow them to serve. Things like multiple classes of shares, rights associated with these multiple class of shares, drag along, tag along, preemption rights, etc. And I think that is one of the major premises in which we completely rewrote our corporation's code in partnership with our colleagues in the Ministry of Commerce about 2 years ago, and that has really formed quite a transition in terms of attractiveness of Saudi to start a business and to give you the tools, the regulatory tools to start a business. That actually takes me to the second pillar, which is financing, because one of our main roles of our capital market is to finance businesses. And suffice it to say that traditionally, we used to think of financing as one of 2 routes, either bank financing or IPOs. Today, that menu includes a plethora of investment options and financing options. Today, there are 8 investment and financing stages, depending on your stage of development, and actually 50% of those financing options were ones that were just introduced in the last few years. And this actually leads me to my third and last point, which is assisting entrepreneurs and founders and their investors to exit businesses. One of the first routes of exit, although admittedly the least desirable, is exiting via bankruptcy. And historically, Saudi Arabia didn't even have a bankruptcy code, which meant that startups and founders and investors, if they encounter difficulties, they faced a legal limbo of how to disentangle and liquidate this business, either to refinance it or to exit and start a new business. With the advent of our first bankruptcy code in 2018 and the implementation of this code in multiple cases and multiple case studies, we now have a much more credible route, whether it's through restructuring or bankruptcy. Now, obviously, this is the least desirable route for startups and startup founders to exit. Maybe we should talk about the 2 more desirable routes. The first, which I think is the most attractive to most founders, is an exit through IPO. And this is where we have seen the most massive transformation in the last few years, where we moved from doing something like 10 listings a year to, in the last couple of years, doing in excess of 40 IPOs a year. And more than 50%, about 60% of these listings are actually small and medium businesses. Many of them are actually venture-backed. So now an IPO exit is a much more credible exit than any time in the past. And having visibility on this exit is actually indirectly promoting the investment and the financing of startups because people can see an exit. And this leads me to the last point on exits, which is M&A. Because while certainly IPOs is the most attractive and the most dreamed after exit of startups, actually more credibly, most startups and founders exit through M&A. And actually, we had quite a few limitations in our M&A regulations in terms of companies, particularly listed companies, using M&A as an acquisition or an expansion tool. This has been one of the main premises of rewriting our M&A rules in 2017, 2018. As a result of that first rewrite, we have actually seen in the last 5 or 6 years more M&A activity than since we established the CMA 15 years ago, which gives you an indication of how regulations can play a role. And that same premise is where we are approaching our next review of our M&A rule. And our expectation is by making a few streamlining adjustments to our M&A rules, M&A more than any time in the past will become a much more viable exit for founders, which creates an entire ecosystem from beginning to financing to hopefully successful exits.
That paints a wonderful and very broad picture to start our conversation, Your Excellency. And now we go a little bit deeper to ask, what are some of the key financing mechanisms and funding support tools that you are offering for startups in the country?
Well, Martina, this is actually the area where we have seen the widest growth. Well, the widest growth both in terms of the quantum of funding that is offered and also the menu of options that suit every investor, every entrepreneur, and every risk category. And if we actually approach these sequentially from the beginning of the life of a business, when you first start, the first funding option is essentially your own savings and those of your friends and family. And even as we populate the menu, this will still remain the first and final, for many people, funding source for their businesses. And it is only when you have tapped the entirety of your personal savings and those of friends and family as other funding sources would be interested to actually look at you. And this actually leads to the second funding source, and that is angel investors. And this is a funding source that is relatively new in Saudi Arabia because this was historically a very informal type of activity of former founders who actually invest in startups as a way of giving back to society. And obviously, because we didn't have many founders, we didn't have many angel investors. And as we have started to create an entrepreneurial class and start to see people exit and monetize, we are now seeing a reemergence of this angel investor community, both as individuals, but also as community. Today, we have several investment clubs of angel investors that collectively invest in startup businesses and form the first external capital of these startups. This actually leads to the third investment route, and one of the newest, and that is venture funding. And suffice it to say, until quite recently, Saudi Arabia was actually a laggard in the Middle East region in terms of venture funding. Today, Saudi Arabia is actually the largest market in the Middle East in terms of venture funding, whether it's in terms of amount of capital raised or amount of capital deployed. And as a result of our leadership in the Middle East region, Saudi Arabia has actually become one of the largest emerging markets in the world in terms of venture funding. And while certainly when we think of funding for startups, we think of venture capital as the first form of funds, but we've actually started to see an expansion of the funds universe to start to serve founders and businesses across their stages of development, whether it's through later in terms of expansion capital, growth capital, private equity, or even through direct financing funds, which are our newest products. This actually leads to the fourth funding route, and that is government-backed and government-sponsored financing programs. And both the number of government-sponsored programs and the amount of capital that is available to these programs has been a key pillar to promote entrepreneurship, whether these government funds invest directly, like the Saudi Industrial Development Fund, the tourism fund, the culture fund, etc., or indirectly like SVC or the Saudi Venture Capital Company, who actually invests in seeding new venture capital funds and who actually take a big credit to jump-starting the venture capital community. Now, this leads to the next funding channel, which is bank financing, and this is the most traditional form that we have seen and we have come to visualize when we think of financing, but this is actually now contributing a smaller and smaller portion of the funding network of entrepreneurs. And actually, if we look at it numerically, the capital market today represents about half funding needs of businesses through a combination of the mechanisms that we have described. This obviously leads me to the last three products, funding products, all of which are capital market products, starting from the IPOs, which is the most notable and visible sign. And this continues to demonstrate a very, very healthy pipeline, and we think this is likely to continue. But it also includes things like crowdfunding platforms. And crowdfunding platforms has actually been the fastest growing funding outlets in Saudi Arabia, whether we look at debt crowdfunding or equity crowdfunding. And if I can just put it into perspective, crowdfunding platforms have actually been doubling in size every year for the past 3 years. And only last year, we crossed 3 billion riyals of amount of funding via crowdfunding platforms. They have also been notable in shrinking the funding period. So now most businesses on crowdfunding platforms get financed within a matter of 3 days, as opposed to doing it in a matter of weeks and years. And then this leads me to the last and possibly the most sizable funding source that is being introduced, and that is our debt capital market. And our debt capital market, while it is quite new, and most of the development we have seen in the last few years has been geared towards developing the debt capital market, the debt capital market has already crossed the equity capital market in terms of capital raised. Since 2021, our debt capital market has been raising more capital for businesses and governments than the equity capital market, both in primary and secondary, even though we are still at our first years of development. And this gives us an indication of the huge potential that is potentially available via expansion in the debt capital market.
Absolutely fascinating developments. And you know, I came to the kingdom for the first time exactly 1 year ago, Your Excellency, for LEAP. This is now the 4th time that I'm in Saudi Arabia, and I can already witness testimony what has been happening in the capital markets since then over the period of just 12 months. But let's also talk about the challenges for startup financing, because there's always a yin and yang in life, isn't it? So what are some of the hurdles that need to be overcome? You mentioned regulation. So what kind of regulatory improvements for startup financing and funding should there be in the future?
Well, Martina, actually looking out at the audience, I see it is about 50-50 distributed between local participants and international participants.
Yep.
And this is actually a very similar story to our story with entrepreneurship. When we first started, whether it's through Vision 2030 or a lot of our financial sector development program initiatives, we thought that solving the entrepreneurial problem in formation, financing, and exit was a Saudi-specific problem. And as we have evolved, we have grown to recognize that if we solve this problem, we can actually solve this problem for all entrepreneurs, whether it's entrepreneurs in Saudi, entrepreneurs in the Gulf region, and entrepreneurs in the broader Middle East region. And actually, as we have started to address corporations code, financing, and exit, we have seen more and more entrepreneurs from outside of the region seriously considering relocating to Saudi Arabia because of the market, because of these regulatory developments, and because of this potential to exit. One of the most notable examples of this is a company called Adis, which is listed today in the Saudi capital market, which is a company that used to be domiciled and listed outside of the region and was actually delisted and relocated to Saudi to benefit from all of these features. We expect as we move forward that more and more entrepreneurs, and particularly tech entrepreneurs, are going to make a similar move. We have heard recently that they're facing some challenges with respect to capital gains and taxation treatment as they move their local entity. We used to believe with our colleagues in the tax authority that we should package these reforms with a broader set of taxation reforms. But this is now becoming increasingly clear to us, and the win and the advantage to this for Saudi and for entrepreneurs is becoming sufficiently clear that maybe it warrants we split this separately to take it through a separate fast track. And if we do, I think very soon we can claim that Saudi Arabia can become the hub of attracting not just entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial activity in Saudi, but from the broader Middle East region as well.
Very interesting developments. It's like a reverse brain drain almost, right? Moving back here. So interesting to see what is going to happen in the Saudi capital markets going forward. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have time for 2 questions. There's a mic runner here in the room, so please identify yourself by name and, if possible, also the company that you work for, so that we have a little bit of a background about you as well. Who would like to ask the first question? Just put your hand up. Anyone wants to list? Yes. The gentleman over there? Thank you.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. هشام الصالح from Build Now. معاليكم, so I'm going to ask the question in English. How do you see private credit in terms of an asset class? And furthermore, when we look at private credit today, it's all the typical closed-ended funds. And how do you see open-ended funds being integrated in this asset class?
Thank you very much for the question. And actually, in the expanding menu of options, I glossed through some of the more recent developments, which are just smaller in size. And one of them, and you've indeed pointed it out quite accurately, is private credit. Part of the expansion of funds and their role in providing credit and financing to startup businesses comes from venture capital, but a lot of it comes from various other later stages. Private equity, and the most recent is actually private credit. The only note I will make on private credit is that in most markets, private credit as an asset class emerges when the debt capital market is already quite mature. In our market, we are developing the debt capital market in parallel with private credit. And because the debt capital market has most of the features of private credit, plus liquidity and tradability, we believe that the debt capital market is likely to grow faster in this first phase than later.
Great question, great answer. One more question, ladies and gentlemen. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Yes. If not, we just ask you, what is your outlook for the financial markets this year?
So
that's an easy one.
If we take most of the leading indicators and we judge the outlook for financial market based on corporate earnings and what happens on corporate earnings, because it's a reflection of the real economy, as well as the pipeline of IPOs that we see ahead of us. The pipeline of IPOs or listings that are currently sitting in the CMA is a little in excess of about 50 files, which is not that different from where we were around October last year, which means that there's still quite a bit of sentiment in terms of listing, financing, exit, etc. But even as we progress further afield, we actually gauge the number of signed advisory mandates with financial advisor, because these mandates, at least some of them, are likely to translate into files and into subsequent IPOs. And on there are about 100 today. So the pipeline looks about the same as it did either the end of last year or indeed the beginning of that last year, which gives you an indication of the continuation of this momentum. Obviously, this can change at any moment in time, but that gives you at least the leading indicator.
And we will see what is going to happen when we're back at Leap in 1 year time. Your Excellency, Mr. Al-Kuwais, Chairman of the Capital Market Authority, thank you so much. Shukran Gazila.
Thank you very much, Martina. Pleasure.
Our thanks to His Excellency and to Martina.